Alright, howdy everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello, how's it going? Welcome back, and thank you very much for shooting in and joining a fella here for another Boots on the Ground video. And the more astute among you watching today may surmise that a guy is in Bridgeland here today, a neighborhood in the southeast of Calgary, just sort of southeast of downtown core. Right over there. Formerly known as Riverside, but everybody started calling it Bridgeland in the 19-teens and 20s and so on, and eventually it was annexed by the city, and the name just stuck, so now it's officially known as Bridgeland. But apparently it was an old settlement that was a hamlet on its own, separate from the town of Calgary. Late 1880s, and by I believe it was 1910 it was annexed, or 1908 or something like that. It was annexed by Calgary. There's a lot of interesting old places to check out here in Bridgeland, but they are quickly disappearing. In fact, if a guy had been doing this 20-25 years ago, I could have just done a Mudflood walkabout tour of Bridgeland, and we would have looked at dozens of old places. But it's no longer the case. They've put in all kinds of modern stuff, like the high-rise condos and stuff that you see here behind the sign. So they're getting to be pretty few and far between. But that said, there's a couple of really cool places that I want to check out here today. So without further ado, let's get into it. Stick around. I'll be right back.
About a heaven in Alberta, where they've got all hell for a basement.
Alright, and we are back. And I just made a quick stop here in Flyover Park. Strange name, but it's because of the this big flyover off-ramp they've put to cross over the river to get into the downtown core. There is an old steel trestle bridge that was erected in 1910, which we'll have a look at in a separate video. And that used to be the only way across the Bow River until they built this flyover, I think in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, I don't even remember. But anyways, then they had this big empty space here that they've made into a playground and a park, which is kind of nice because it was a wasted space otherwise. You know, and then you get hobos and ne'er-do-wells hanging around in here. But anyways, let's see what this says real quick here for some quick narrative. I'm probably going to have to read it because it's very crappy, tiny printing, and it's white on gray background. It's not a great plan, but anyway. So what was here before, the area of Flyover Park has been an important region for over 12,000 years. The riverbank started as an encampment area for nomadic people and is the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina and the Nakota nations, the Métis Nation, as well as the people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region. You always got to get that out of the way because Canadians feel real guilty about things that European colonists did over 150 years ago. So now we got to, you know, try to make amends for something that we never did, but we feel guilty about for some reason. Anyway, what else does this narrative say here? Where we stand today was once known as the village of Riverside until it was annexed by the city in 1910. Riverside was mainly settled by Russian German immigrants, while Bridgeland was formed north of Center Avenue Northeast, that's 2 blocks that way, and predominantly populated by Italian immigrants. The two neighborhoods were also influenced by several other cultures living and working in the area that included Ukrainian, Jewish, Polish, and Hungarian, among others. Chinese owners ran commercial vegetable gardens and greenhouses in the vicinity, providing another cultural influence. What does this say here? Hop on the streetcar. How do people get here? If you look southwest from where you're standing, you can see Reconciliation Bridge. Yeah, it used to be called Langevin Bridge, so it was named after an important person in Calgary's history. But we can't do that. You got to eliminate that, and we got to reconcile again, 150 plus years ago, by renaming the bridge from Langevin Bridge to Reconciliation Bridge. Yeah, that'll solve all the problems. But anyways, Reconciliation Bridge overlooking downtown. The bridge was initially constructed out of wood until it was replaced with a steel truss structure in 1910, making it possible to run streetcars across the river. Imagine what it would have been like hopping onto a streetcar to get across the Bow River. Yeah, it would have been great, but you guys got rid of the streetcars, so thanks for that. That's awesome too. Edmonton Trail, which is the main road just like half a block from where I'm standing, was once part of the Old North Trail, which was a long and important wagon trail route for hay and fur traders. Oh, there's that fur trader narrative again. With the arrival of the railroad, it was used for mail and stagecoach service. The area was also considered as a working man's district, with major employers in the neighborhood such as the Riverside Lumber Company, established in 1906, Calgary General Hospital in 1910, and Riverside Iron Works 1913. Yeah, but they imploded the hospital in the 80s. It was the only hospital in the downtown core that had emergency room services and all kinds of stuff. No, it's not good. It's been here for 70 some years. No, we got to blow it up. And now it's a big empty lot with a park. Nice. Anyways, there's a shot of that Riverside Iron Works. Apparently they made the bridges that gave Bridgeland its name, because not only was there the the Reconciliation Bridge just over here, but just a few blocks further is the Center Street Bridge, and behind me was the old Zoo Bridge that was also a steel trestle bridge. It's now been converted to a modern concrete piece of junk bridge. And then they get into, it was the community that got together to develop this space, which is pretty good. Oh, there's your obligatory shot of teepees. Gotta have those, I guess. All right, let me pause it here for a moment, and let's get to snooping around, see if I can find some old world remnants, all right? All right, so you get a lot of cute little places like these little places here. Shotgun shacks, it's kind of what we call them here in Canada land. I think they're known as shotgun shacks in the US too. Basically the name comes because they're generally a one story and they're kind of narrow and really long. Like a shotgun barrel apparently. But then every once in a while you get something like this, which is this big huge brick home here. Really low windows that's been refacaded with a newer brick along the bottom here. In fact, I think the whole thing has been refacaded. You can see there's definitely a line right there, and then the old brick is more towards the sides and the back. And again, they've modernized it a little bit, but what are you gonna do? I guess it's better knocking it down. Same with this one here. Another big, beautiful brick house. This one's got some arched windows and arched doors down the side there. Got sort of a gable there, and follow them along the top too with some nice sort of scalloping details with the, I'm guessing what is cedar shingles. And its neighbor here, beautiful bay window effect going way up. For some reason they've had to put a big giant retaining wall in front of it, which isn't holding up so well. Imagine carrying your groceries from your car here in the winter, here in Canada land, up these stairs covered nice in snow. just to get in the front door there. I got a nice transom window above the door there with some leaded glass above it. Let's get you in on that there. There we go. Very nice. And I believe we have one more big one here. Yep, very similar. It's hard to see the bay window there. And hello.
Hi, can I help you? I noticed that you were filming my house.
No, I don't need any help, thank you.
Okay, so what's going on?
Exactly what it looks like it's going on. I'm making some videos.
Any particular reason?
No particular reason, just because there's some beautiful historic homes here and it's a historic neighborhood. So I'm just doing some videos of some of the old brick houses and some of the beautiful details on them. You don't see these anymore, right? They don't build them like this anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Nothing, no harm intended. No, nothing nefarious.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I'm in public. I can film in public.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying otherwise. I just wanted to check in, right? I also have the right to do so.
Sure,
Right?
yeah.
There's no laws against that.
No, there's no laws to asking. No, not at all. Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. Well, that didn't take long. What are we, like 4 minutes into this segment and somebody's come along asking me what I'm doing? Is that a trick question? I always want to ask that. Is that a trick question? What are you doing? Well, I'm taking some video, considering I've got video equipment in my hand. And thanks for interrupting my video, by the way. I'm leaving that in. This one here has been completely refacaded in modern crud, but I suspect that underneath all of that modern siding and crud is probably another brick beauty, like these two, or three actually, two up high and one down low. All right, let me pause it here and see if I can get any other Karens to start giving me hell for something. Hang on, I'll be back in a moment. All right, and I'm back. And that street I was just on, by the way, was 6th Street Northeast, and I'm on Center Avenue Northeast. So basically the intersection of Center Avenue and 6th Street Northeast, headed toward, it's either going to be 6A or 7th Street. Not 6A, like how Canadians say it, but 6, the letter A. Sorry, I had you on a 2-time zoom there. I got this place, looks like it's fenced. I hope they're not tearing this one down. Come on, man, don't. Maybe they're just doing some landscaping, heavy-duty landscaping, hopefully. Please don't knock this down. Come on, man. Come on, do like your neighbors. Fix it up and keep it. That's a beauty. Nice 2-story. Again, nice dormer there in the gable. Just going to cross the street here as soon as the coast is clear and have a look at the front here. Yeah, so Center Avenue and 6A Street Northeast. Yeah, that's a big beauty too, right up on a high spot in the neighborhood. I don't know if it's still lived in because they got a filthy old sofa, a Chesterfield, a couch right in the front yard, but okay, whatever. No arches on this one though, but they kind of made up for it with some of that detail along the, just in that gable end and that, right there, the eave. They sort of did a staggered sort of dental pattern with the shingles there. You know, just a little bit extra. Why not? Take some pride in your workmanship. Oh, I see what they're doing. There's a lot next door here that they're developing. So they're going to put some new monstrosity in next door to this one. So maybe this one is still occupied. Good. Let's hope it stays that way. All right, I just see that there's a couple more places across the street. Might as well keep her rolling here and check it out. I know there's an old fire hall here that was converted into a residence, and an old school here that they say was built in 1910. But I don't know what section, because it looks like there's been tons of sections added onto it. But before we get preoccupied with this weird old school, which is Riverside School, this is the old number 4 fire hall, which, as mentioned, is now private residence. They did a nice job with that. You see its neighbor there, a couple of, again, those little bungalows or shotgun shacks, and then a couple of beefier Victorian homes there. Wood frame, I'm guessing. But yeah, this is amazing right here. Again, you know, why knock it down? If it's an old world structure and it's already been repurposed once into a fire hall, surely it's strong enough to be repurposed again into a home, into a restaurant, a pub, I don't know, whatever you can do to save it, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's a beauty. Looks like they've added some paint or schmutz on these keystones and all the arches. They're probably sandstone, and they're probably deteriorating, excuse me. So they've put schmutz on them to help prevent that. And I'm guessing this might be a garage, but then this is living space. So this they can open up and pull right in and park, I guess. That's pretty convenient. Can't really see much between these two buildings, but maybe down the other side you might be able to get a look at something here as well. Yeah, okay, so just some more, well, not just, but some more arched windows there as well. Down the side, very nice. And yeah, under those windows, looks like that window sill protruding could have been sandstone, and again they've covered it in schmutz to protect it. And then this funny little window right here, looks like it's been boarded up or blocked in. And then one way at the back that they've added vents or something to here. And then they've retrofitted the old brick chimney with the new furnace, air exchange there, I'm sure. And the old, I'm assuming they're going to say it's a flagpole, the old tack on top. Very neat old place. I like that. I like that conversion, and I like the preservation. It's got a couple of buttons on it too, so it's probably a provincial historic site and a municipal or city historic site as well. So, yeah, really cool. All right, I'm going to pause it here, and then we're going to cross the street and have a look behind me here to where that old school is and see if we can figure out what's going on with that. And then I think that'll wrap it up for today's video for Bridgeland anyway. All right, back in just another moment or two. All right, so here it is, the Riverside School. According to that sign, it was built in 1910 or 1911 or something like that. I don't know. Maybe. It's certainly been monkeyed with and messed around with and re-facaded and refaced probably a bunch of times. It looks like it's got some 1950s influence, or 60s maybe. It's kind of hard to say for sure, but I've got this big giant concrete, I don't know what, here. And then you got to go up a bunch of steps to get into the door here. I'm assuming it's the main entrance. This big concrete thing, what is it anyways? No, nothing, just a little grassy area. Wasted space. I suppose if you're a student, you could sit up there and enjoy your lunch. That'd be all right on a nice day. But then, on the other side of this thing, we've got a door here. Yeah, I don't know. Just don't know. Let's whip around the other side here and see what's going on with this thing. Hang on. Okay, so this is the south-facing side of the school here. I'm still basically on Center Avenue and 6A Street, northeast, or southeast, I should say, excuse me. I'm wondering if these big blocked areas used to, have windows in them like the rest of them. And they've just monkeyed around with it. Looks like this might be an addition. It's probably the gymnasium. And it looks like it was added as an afterthought, and then they just combined the two. I don't know, because for some reason, old world schools, and we've looked at a lot of old schools here on the channel, old sandstone or old brick or a combination of the two. And it always seems like they didn't build a gymnasium at the school. They would build a gymnasium later on, like 20, 30, 40, 50 years later. You can see how it's kind of perched up on a bit of a high spot here as well. Much like that old brick house right there and that old fire hall. The ground slopes down severely right here on the sidewalk. There's the back of some of those old brick ones we were just looking at, where the lady was trying to make me eat shit sandwiches. This one here that's covered in modern stuff definitely has some really low windows down there. Hello. Anyway, back on track here. See, and then they've got another giant wall. They've had to put some drainage coming out of it. A bit of a retaining wall here. They're doing so much construction here right now. They're pouring new sidewalks and stuff. Now these arches look different than the arches on the front or on the other side of the building here. These look more shallow and wider, not quite as severe an arch. And I'm definitely seeing cinder block obviously here. So yeah, that's the sort of go-between section. There's a more modern section that was added on, I think. I don't know, it's really hard to tell. There was nothing in the this history or the narrative of the school that says it was built in 1910 or 11 or whatever, and then, on the same spot was torn down and rebuilt a more modern school in the 50s or 60s or whatever. It doesn't say anything like that. So I guess we're supposed to assume that the building that's here is the original building. So again, you've got that giant concrete here, and then boom, it just comes right down, and you get all kinds of different entrances from all kinds of different levels. The back side of this here now, and then they get back to this fugly concrete thing again. So I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I'm going to look a little more into it when I get home. See if I can dig up any additional information. But like I said, there really wasn't much to go on. I sure wish I could walk up this side and see what's going on behind those big trees there. But as you can see, it's all blocked off for construction. All this to pour a new sidewalk. Really? Come on, man. It's going to take them all summer to do it too. You just know it. You just know it's going to take all summer to do 100 feet of concrete sidewalk. So there you go. I don't know. I didn't solve any mysteries on this one at all. You tell me, we'll both know. But with that, I think that is going to seal the deal here today for Frankie, New West Reset, and a quick little look at a nice handful of old world remnants here in BRIDGELAND. Come stai? Tutto va bene? Prego, molto prego. Grazie. All right, so until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right, everyone? Cheers. Arrivederci.